Yeah, but
That's very light.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Wildcard Wednesday, April 8th, 2020. Here I am, 52 years old, with a Tecate Light. I'm in Louisiana, Tecate Light. Jeremy is in Arkansas with Moo. I'm going to let him say it.
this is a Moosehead Lager. It's a Canadian, made in Canada, 100% Canadian barley malt. Let's see what it's going to taste like. 13% IBUs, 5% ABV. So, never tried it.
I don't know the IBUs on mine now. Over there in New York City, New York, and Lockdown Central, we have Michael Comoro.
Okay, this is Laser Cat Imperial IPA out of Hudson, Massachusetts from Medusa Brewing, brewed in Boston, contract by Dorchester Brewing. And it's Imperial IPA at 8%. This is the first beer I've tried from Medusa Brewing. I've had another can of it, so this is my second one. Looking forward to giving you a quick capsuled thing on what I think of it.
Nice.
Okay, now, so welcome everybody so far, and now up in New Hampshire. Let me go below New Hampshire first, in Massachusetts. That's the next state up. Sorry, I didn't create this geography. Okay, Eric.
Wow, I didn't create geography either. This is from the, I'm not even pronouncing it right, the Un N Brewing Company, Brewery LLC, which I guess is also known as Hubbard's Cave in the state of Illinois. This is their beer called Table, and it's a light saison blended with a small portion of wild ale at 4.8% alcohol by volume. And I just noticed it now that the canning date is 10/30/2019, but maybe the wild portion of it will have kept it from going too far south, I guess. I'm not really worried about the age so much. Not really. Cheers.
Now, Jericho, you're in Massachusetts also, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what do you have?
Well, happy birthday, Jay, first of all.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't feel a day over 51.
I have the Sam Adams Rick Red. It's one of their Irish red ales. Not the Sam Adams Irish red ale, though. It's separate, Irish red. But this is 5.8% alcohol by volume, 25 IBUs. So I got in a 4-pack.
Sounds good. Okay, now, last but certainly not least, in New Hampshire, somebody got some bad echo. You better kill it. Up there in William's going to have to wait in the basement. Okay, now, Bumpy Roadberry, Jesse.
So I have what is the GOAT, greatest of all time. It's a Helles Lager, brewed by Bentwater Brewing Company. They're out of Lynn, Massachusetts. This comes in at 5% ABV. No IBUs are listed on the can, and I didn't bother to look it up either. This was canned back before Brady was traded, so it's still legit. It was January 3rd of 2000. Helles can have a little bit of age on it and still.
So you can describe your beer first. Since we went to you last, you can go first.
Okay.
No use making you wait twice, you know.
I don't mind waiting. So with the pour, it's got that kind of rocky white bubble head. Coloration of the beer itself is that kind of straw to light gold and extremely clear. See some carbonation coming up. I almost spoke beer on my laptop. It was bad. The aromas. It's got crackery aromas with some fruit notes. Kind of almost like a pear type, but not coming off straight up like pears, just kind of like a light fruity ester, maybe from the yeast. Not sure if I'm actually detecting like a slight hint of cardboard, or if it's just I'm so used to picking up cardboard notes on a lot of the lighter beers that I drink. Usually the cervezas and stuff like that. Anyways, the first swig, so cheers.
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 You.
Cheers.
Yeah, so it's a light, crisp body, crackery malt flavor, moving into bready at the tail end. Still the kind of a little bit of like a fruity type thing going on. It's not bitter at all. Very cracker-based malt forward. Easy to drink. Carbonation level. I'd say just below a high carbonation level in this one. It does tend to have a little bit of like a cardboard type twang to it, though. I'll come back to my scoring afterwards.
All right. Sounds good. Now I'm going to go to mine first because it's so light. I mean, mine second because it's so light. And if I don't drink it, if I don't describe it, it's going to be gone. It's not much substance to it. They say it on the website. It's brewed actually in Tecate in Baja California del Norte. And I've been to Tecate, but I didn't tour the brewery, unfortunately. I was there right when Mexico had lost the World Cup in 2006, and all the people were walking around with their heads down. It was a weird one. But it's a golden, you see, gold Mexican lager with a head, lots of racing bubbles. The nose smells like the Mexican corn flour. You know, you can go to some grocery stores and they'll sell the Mexican corn flour, which is a lot different in aroma than the American corn flour, and I don't know why. It's got a fuller aroma. It's like a Mexican tortilla, like, you know what I'm saying? You know it's different, but you can't explain why. Those corn tortillas. And I think this beer came out in 1992. 3.9. It's remarkably flavorful for such a light beer. Of course, the body's thin and light. The finish is crisp. It tastes like sweet corn, some mild barley, which gives you that, like a white bread dough thing. You can just throw bitterness out the window because it's not in play here. It probably would be what we would call a round beer. It has hop extract in it, but it would be a round beer. You just couldn't pick the hops out. But for an easy going, I like it more now than when I first started drinking it. It used to have a funny off flavor, but excuse me, I think I got used to it. So now I'm starting to come around to it. It isn't something I'd buy, but it was in the 12-pack of the Beers of Mexico, Cervezas de Mexico. So I figured, I got to buy it. So I'll put it on Wildcard Wednesday. Heck. They didn't have regular Tecate in the thing, but that's it. So when I was with it, I'm not expecting it to be an imperial stout because that's what it ain't. Okay, now going back down into Massachusetts, we'll try around in a geographic sense.
Joy Inley. All right, again, we got the table beer from Un Annie, Hubbard's Cave. That's what they're also known as in the state of Illinois. Light saison blended with a small portion of wild ale at 4.8%. Alcohol by volume. As I pour the beer, I'm going to be careful about. Yep, there's some of it in there. I'm trying to be careful about the sediment, but take that out the window because no, I'm not. Yeah, you can see stuff floating the hell around in there. Definitely wild yeast strain. Kind of has that saison, almost New England style IPA kind of looking haze and murk to it. Hello, Treehouse. And a fine white head, maybe a finger in this Texas style glass. Lots and lots of effervescence, I think. There's definitely particulates. You got to be careful what these wild yeast strain style beers. The nose on this one, I could smell it immediately when I opened the can. It had a very big lemony kind of a note to it. Yeah, definitely like a lemon grassy kind of note, and it has a black peppercorn spicy note to it. Definitely grassy in origin. Definitely has a Pilsner malty sort of cereal type grain in the background to it. A sweet white bready malt, but it's pretty dry, definitely in its nose, I would say. It's got a little bit of that tartness, that vinegar-ish tartness to it. But yeah, cheers. So far,
Cheers.
of the two.
Cheers.
Wild.
Cheers to you.
Thank you, sir. Happy birthday. Yeah, 4.8 is not a shorter drink. There's actually, I'm getting, I don't know if it's not really a nuttiness. I'm getting a toasty element to this one. Yeah. Ooh, that's some of the souring coming out. So that sour plus a little bit of like that Pilsner malt is giving me like a toast with an orange marmalade in there, I guess. There's a little bit of a sea salt in it, in its flavor. Kind of reminds me of a Goza a little bit. I don't know if that's the kind of the yeast strain, the wild yeast strain they may be using. Probably not. Again, white peppercorn, the Pilsner malts in the background. I'm getting that orangey note. Yes, once again, light towards a medium. I would say it's actually on the low side of a medium body. It's very crisp. It's got that effervescence of a champagne or like a brute IPA. Definitely, there's a little bit of a bitterness to it. It's very refreshing and clean. It's got a little bit of bitterness in the background. It's not really a bitter beer. There's a little bit of and that citrusy kind of note to it. I think it's done for balancing the beer out. So far, this one is tasting really good. I've never thought of having a saison that almost has like a toasty kind of jam or citrusy jam toast kind of note to it. But yeah, if that's your game, this one's pretty good. Lots of carbonation. I will let the other panelists go and come up with a rating very shortly. So far, so good. Yeah, cheers. Table beer.
Okay. Now back to the South Central states.
Yeah.
Again, I got a Moosehead Lager by Moosehead Brewery out of Canada. As you can see, it's a very light golden amber color, like most lagers. It did have a little bit, like have a finger head, but it's quickly dissipated. Go to the nose on it. Just a breadiness. Really, you might can smell a little bit of the hops, but not much. It's not much going on for the smell. So I'm going for the taste. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
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 It's got a little bit of sweetness to it. Probably mildly carbonated, medium mouthfeel, probably, or light. Medium to light, I would say. It's got a very good flavor for a lager, though. It's very smooth. Like you could drink these all day long. I would drink these, out grilling or cooking or anything like that, or going, tailgating at a ball game. You could drink these all day. I'm impressed. I like it. So I'll give you my score a little later on.
I had a feeling you were going to like it.
I find it to be a very full-bodied lager for what.
Yeah, it's got a little spice, hints of spice in it too.
Spicy hop zing, maybe.
Just a little bit.
Nice.
I need to go back and buy some more.
Now we'll go. Yeah. I've always liked that. I wish we could get some of their other varieties like the pale ale and whatnot. Now, going back up north. I'm sorry, Michael, you're getting caught in the middle today, but not by design or any kind of conspiracy. Okay.
All right, guys. So again, I have the Sam Adams Brick Red. Just want to read the description on the can real quick. It says Brick Red's name refers to the red brick of Boston's Freedom Trail, a 2.5-mile path that passes 16 U.S. landmarks and the walls of our Boston brewery, where the beloved beer originated. Hearty and full of rich malt character, it's easy to see why this smooth and balanced beer is a fan favorite. Now, I couldn't find too much information on this beer, actually. I only saw one review on YouTube, read a couple articles, but from what I can tell, this is normally only available on tap in some of the Boston bars, maybe the immediate towns and cities outside of Boston, but they don't distribute it outside of that too often from what I hear, but they have apparently this
year. Somebody got some noise in the background. I don't know if the...
So here's the pour here.
Yeah, here.
Got a, amber color here, reddish brown.
It's almost pumpkin red in the camera, that head.
Yeah. Creamy head, tan color head as well. Got my Sam Adams glass here. A lot of carbonation, ton of bubbles coming up to the top. You can see right through the glass. Good looking beer though. Going in for the aroma. Getting a sweet, malty caramel smell. Smells very creamy. Perhaps a touch of cinnamon as well. Toffee. But it smells good, guys. Cheers to everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, my Massachusetts brethren. Yeah.
Cheers to Canada, Mexico, the United States, and Uruguay.
Oh, yeah. So definitely getting the sweetness, caramel taste. Creamy. Touch of bitterness. I think it's 25 IBUs, but it's balanced nicely by the malts. Medium mouthfeel. Good amount of sweetness, though. I am liking it. Not excessively sweet. A little bit of cinnamon there as well. But so far, so good. I'm liking it a lot. Never, like I said, they don't distribute this widely that often. Originally from Western Mass, nowhere near Boston. This is, the first time I've heard of this Irish Red Ale from Sam Adams. So it's new to me as well, but liking it so far. So I'll mull over the score, guys.
I wonder what would happen if you took that beer and put it against their Irish Red. How actually different that is.
Right, because that's more popular. Yeah,
more on the malty sweet side.
Right. But liking it so far, though.
Yeah, you could get both. You could get both of them. Then you could do a Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Right.
Yes, absolutely. Never had the Irish Red, to be honest. So.
Okay, guys.
Michael.
Here is your Laser Cat Imperial IPA in the glass. And it has kind of a little mild chill haze to it, but it's mostly clear. And I don't know if you can pick it up in the light here, but it has, a lot of small bubbles rising. So it's fairly, good carbonation, I can see. And the head is white, kind of a slim head, nothing excessive, but a little bit of a head. Let me give it a nose. It has kind of a typical IPA nose in a way, because you're getting this kind of garlic onion kind of thing. And it's herbal in a way, which is interesting as well. Maybe a little bit on the sweaty side of sweat. So it's
sounds delightful.
It's the type of hop that
good old sweat.
It's an IPA kind of nose. Let me give it a taste.
Yeah.
Cheers.
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 Okay, this is really good.
And the Falkland Islands and St. Kitts and Nevis and French Guiana.
You're getting the kind of dankness and piney, resiny feel to it. Medium mouthfeel. The alcohol is really well masked. It tastes more like like a 6% IPA, and it's 8, so they've done that well. Decent lacing on the side, as you can see. Goes down pretty easy. kind of liking it.
Cool.
I would, if I could have access to this beer, I definitely would buy it. I'll be back with the numbers shortly.
Okay. Sounds like everybody's enjoying their beer. We're going to give our scores, and then we have some people waiting in the basement, and they're being very patient and polite. And so we're going to go back to the full screen now. And
As a public service announcement,
we
those
go
in the
to full
basement,
screen.
please keep your 6-foot distance.
Exactly. Somebody was coughing down there earlier, he said, so I don't know what's going on.
Did you say 6 feet? I'm going to Jeremy's house.
Oh. We're going to take that out with editing. Okay, now, well, now, Jesse at Bumpy Road Brewing Incorporated Empire, how do you score your beer?
Well, I'm gonna look at it like this. Is it one of the better Helles lagers I've ever had? No. You know, when they come from, you know, the real ones that come from, you know, Germany and stuff, those are so much better. But for being brewed in America, does it kind of match up to a lot of other ones I've had that were brewed by American breweries? It does. It's pretty similar. I mean, it's got the same nuances of flavors. It's not quite as robust with like the malt presence as the ones I'm used to from Germany, but I think it's still a solid drinker, even with that little bit of a cardboard note. So it's not bad. I'm gonna land this one at a 91 out of 100.
Oh,
Ooh.
Nice.
Sounds tasty. Now going on down to Louisiana. Now Lance dropped off. You got to come back, Lance. Patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue, so we want you to be virtuous.
Now, up to Jay Terrio.
wait.
Lance, come on.
Sorry, I accidentally
Jay, do you
highlighted
want
myself.
to sing happy birthday to you now?
Ooh.
No, not necessarily. All right.
save it for later. We'll save it for later.
Okay.
I got a juice heart.
Hey, Drew's.
Yeah.
See that oblique reference. People are bad on this. Okay, now yeah, it's dying off, and man, people are getting so sick. Somebody was riding around here on a performance 4-wheeler. Yeah, they're really following protocol in Louisiana. Their idea of staying home is going everywhere. Their idea of staying home means go out everywhere. Okay, now, and
Good comments, people.
interestingly, this parish has the highest death rate in America, but people are still riding around like yippee-ki-yay. I'm doing the same thing, so I can't say a word. All right, anyway, I honored the protocol Saturday by going on a hike in the National Battlefield. Okay, look, this thing is empty as this cup is empty like a cup that's empty. I drank the whole thing down with no effort. Oh, Ville Platte, cheers to you and Ville Platte. All right, I'm trying to update the comments. All right, this beer is good. It's very good, actually. It's not some great thing. Everybody knows that already. It's a light beer from Tecate, meaning Heineken Mexico, Hatamak Moctezuma. But I'm going to give it an 88 out of 100. I'm going to give it a B+. I like it. If I had to drink it again, it wouldn't bother me. The only problem with it is if you look at it, as soon as you look at it, it's gone. It's like, whoop, there it goes. Bye. So you could just drink it in major, profound volumes, and it probably wouldn't be much different than drinking water. So now up to Thomas Meadow, what do you score it?
Yeah, again,
Give us a
got a
number.
little bit of beer left. Again, you need to be careful about pouring your beer when there are wild ales involved, wild yeast strains. It gets all up in your beer, the yeast. Untapped says that this beer is what did they say? 3.76 out of 5. I'm going to go a little bit better on a score than that. I think this is at least a 93 out of 100. I really do like this one. And I was reading a little bit, as Bumpy likes to do on his Monday program, a little bit of the 2008 guidelines for a Saison. And this is hitting all the marks for what you want with the Saison. The wild yeast strain is doing what you expect for that to do. It's giving it that, to me, it's giving it that vinegary tartness without going too far in the souring department. It's definitely not a sour beer. It definitely has the apple cider vinegar puckering element to it and the acidity to it, mixed with that really good lemony feel to it with the peppercorn, spicy peppercorn notes, and the Pilsner Brady kind of malt. So I'm really digging on that. It's a really unique kind of beer there. And if you guys see this brewery, the Un Annie, or I guess it's called Hubbard's Cave, mostly, go check them out for Belgian beers and from Illinois. Cheers.
And what is it again? 92?
90, what did I say? 93.
93.
93. Wow. Yeah, just like with Jay's beer, it's 4.8 light Saison, and it's highly drinkable, not a chore to drink it.
I'm sorry, Jack. Great Britain is more, the United Kingdom is much more communistic than our country, and our country is pretty damn communistic. So I'm sorry. It's like you're like Kampuchea, and we're like Laos. Okay. Now,
Wow.
in 1977. Okay. Now, we down back to Arkansas. What am I doing? I keep highlighting. I'm sorry. It's a bad habit of mine.
Again, I had the Moosehead Lager. This really reminds me, when they were speaking about Coors Banquet, it reminds me of Coors Banquet, but a little bit smoother than Coors Banquet even, I think. I'm going to give this a 87 just because, it's really good. I give it like a B plus. I could drink this all day long.
See, I like Coors Banquet and I like Moosehead, but I can get Coors Banquet a 6-pack of pint cans for like $4.53.
Nice.
Yeah.
We don't have pint cans here.
Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah.
It's very similar. It's why buy this,
Yeah, you know which one I'd pick because of that price point. Now, okay, with 87. And then not really, but I'll show you something in a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna go and see what JoJo says, and then we're gonna go to Michael.
Yeah, so Sam Adams Brick Red, I'm liking it a lot. You can't really tell now, but had a good amount of lacing here, creamy lacing, really good. Like Jay and Eric were saying, I would like to see how this stands toe-to-toe with the Sam Adams Irish Red. This is really good. I mean, I had Smithwick's Irish Red earlier this week, and I'd say this is at least as good, if not a little bit better. I'm really impressed with it. It's got that sweet, nutty, caramel, malty taste, but a bit of a touch of bitterness at the end as well in the back end. But definitely enjoying it, and I highly recommend it. It looks like they're kind of distributing it more widely now, so if you guys can get your hands on it, I definitely recommend it. I'm going to give it a 92 out of 100, so A-. It's good, though. And it's 16 ouncer, so about to load up again.
Cheers.
Hey, see, more is sometimes better. Come on. All right, now, thanks, Michael, for waiting.
No
He
problem.
was in a geographic kind of issue there. So, what do you score it?
Okay, This is warming a little, the bitterness is becoming a little bit more pronounced, which in this case is good because it may have been a little malty at the beginning, and now you're getting more of the hops and more of the bitterness. So to me, that even raises it because it makes it better balanced. I'm going to give it a 95, solid A.
Wow.
I don't even think that.
I want to drink more Massachusetts beers. I want
Yes.
and I want Trillium.
That
Tried Trillium. I've only tried Trillium never.
I'm bringing Drewski in here.
And
No.
Trillium, no. I had the green once.
Now, okay.
Who drank my Jim Beam? No.
Greensbury.
Now listen here. Whatever. Listen here. The worst score we had tonight was a B, and that's a good thing. When the worst you could say about all the 6 beers was, well, it's good. Okay, so hey, can't fuss about that. But now going to the drop out. Y'all want me to drop out?
I'll drop out.
Don't do that, Jay. I'll drop out.
I can drop. Oh, wow, that was quick. We lost the whole middle, column.
There goes Massachusetts and New Hampshire, but we still have JoJo here.
Still here.
You win.
I was about to joke with Eric. I was about to say, you always abruptly drop out anyway, and he did it before I could even make the joke about him abruptly dropping out. So now we're going to the South Atlantic. I'm sorry I can't answer every comment because then the chat would last like 6 hours, but where I'm posting them at least. And so here comes William Kepley, and then the Lush should come back because if you come into the basement, you can't just leave because then that would be bad form. Okay, so here comes William Kepley.
William.
Hey, William.
I did not
From
call
North
for the
Carolina.
basement.
Right.
How's William sound? Sound check.
How's
Good.
the sound tonight? No
That
sound.
sounds nice.
That's great. Okay.
Coming in
I
solid.
like it.
Okay. That's good.
I can't hear him, but with
I can hear you clear out.
okay.
You have the floor, William.
Okay. The beer I have tonight is also a Tecate product, but this one is a little bit more of a high gravity.
Oh no, William, I'm sorry. I mean, go ahead and show us your beer.
Right there it is.
I was saying I was sorry because I saw the brand that you had, and I've had it a few times.
Does that mean
You
William
might like it.
William's in for a tasty light?
It's 7.5%.
Well,
ABV, 194 calories for a 12-ounce serving. This is the first Mexican lager that is really bumped up to the malt liquor category. This is a high-octane version of a high-octane Mexican version of an American adjunct lager. The higher-ups at Heineken thought there was a gap in the beer market for a product of this sort, so they introduced it's in February of 2019 in select markets, including New York and the Sun Belt, and it was here in North Carolina pretty soon. First time I saw it,
we got it soon too.
the first time I ever saw it was last spring in late March when John and Neela came to visit me. We stopped in a convenience store here before we headed out to the brewery, and we both saw it. And he grabbed a few cans of it, but it is no longer here. I looked on our website recently.
Oh no.
It's been discontinued here in North Carolina. And when I did an expanded search by hitting the minus button symbol, I couldn't find it anywhere. So I'm dubious about the future of this beer. Be interesting to see in the next few months but like I say, that's a bad warning sign. So maybe they miscalculated a little bit on the, what the market was wanting. It might be a case if they introduced something nobody really wanted. But anyway, I picked.
Now, my friend David,
I was able to get a few cans of it.
my friend David likes that product.
So
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt.
so I'll pour mine and give you a little taste test.
Okay. My friend David likes the beer, but we got a kind of an argument about that beer.
Everybody's got their own taste profile.
Right.
I've never had.
You're right.
I have never had a Tecate beer in my life.
Oh well,
I've had the
I think
original one.
now while he's doing that, I'm going to highlight myself and I'm going to show one of the viewers something. Nate, I don't read the kind of comic book, okay, but I did get this from somebody in 1980 or 79, 80, and it's a thick comic book. It's from Japan. It's all in Japanese, so I can't really say what it's about, but it's like each story is a single
phone book.
Yeah, it's like a phone book. Each story is like and it's in black and white, but some of the pages are blue or brown, and it just goes on. And they said, see, like here's the blue pages. See, this is a story I think about a shark or something. It's got a pretty intricate artwork, and from what I read, the Japanese people don't like a lot of dialogue, so they like a lot of picture communication. So they say if you wait at the bus stop or the train station in Japan, adults and children of all ages, like 7-8-year-old people would be reading these things. And they have different types, these are more like action comedy stories. And then here's the back page with the girl advertisement for something. And it's like I say, it's all in Japanese. I don't know what it's saying. This is 41 years old. I don't know if it has any value. I don't see why it would have any value. But that's the only one I've got. But they said those people will sit at the bus stop and they'll just be flipping the pages, reading them fast. And somebody gave it to me, and I'm glad I still have it this many years later. But anyway, back to William. He's going to highlight and showcase his beer. But I wanted to do that while he was pouring it.
I've got my little mug taster here because today I've had a case of the dropsies. My hands haven't been working too well. I've made more turnovers today than Jameis Winston. But
I'm sorry.
But anyway, I use this little. Some days I can put my index finger through the handle here, and it's not going to move. So that's what I use on the days I have problems with my hands. So that's what I'm doing today. But on this, one thing about the nose of this, I picked up a lot of corn, more so than many other products. And I know that they use corn starch in this. So that might be the reason for that. Rather than a brewer's syrup, which Molson Coors uses, which would have a more neutral profile, or even a dextrose. So this one definitely has a corn element to it. But I just took a sip of it, and I like it myself. I think it reminded me of the Molson Triple X in that same ABV category, 7.3 versus 7.5%. They sort of found a sweet spot between the 5.5 to 6% malt liquors and those that are in the 8 to 8.5 range. I think it's pretty good myself, so I would probably have to side with David as far as my evaluation of it on this. I think it's pretty good myself. At 7.5%, there's a little uptick of sweetness at the very end of it, but it's not that cloying sweetness you get sometimes with the higher ones. I know one recently I tried, which I was disappointed in, was the Colt 45 High Gravity. I had some pretty high hopes for it, but I didn't really like it. I thought it had sort of a sourness to it, like corn that had set out too long. And also that little bit of uptick of sweetness at the end was a little bit cloying. And so I think this is pretty darn good for what it is. Malt liquors, there's low expectations to begin with. It's not a very revered style or category of beer, but I think it's pretty darn good. And Thomas just said the sweetness he dislikes. Well, that's what you're going to get with these. You're going to get sweetness. They have to boost the alcohol. They do that with the use of more malts, more enzymes. That's the way, because these don't have the hoppiness or other flavor profiles that are going to masquerade, that are going to mask that. So it is what it is, but I think it's pretty darn good myself, so I'll take another sip. It's cold, not numbingly cold to the taste buds, but it's cold, it's crisp, it's refreshing. I say thumbs up to it myself.
Cool.
And interestingly, now Heineken has 7 breweries now in Mexico where this is brewed. So actually, the Heineken we get here in the States now might actually come from Mexico. Sort of something I was thinking about. But anyway.
Wow, they would have to say it on the label, though.
But like I said, for 7.5%, it's a little bit. I think the drinkability on this is a little bit better than the ones in the 8 to 8.5% range, with the exception of the Bull Ice, which I think is heads and shoulders above any of the high gravity products I've tried. I think it's outstanding. Most of the rest are sort of an average. You can take them or leave them, but like I say, I'm dubious about the future of this. It seems like the Corona and the Mexican beers, they sell very well as is. Is there a market for something that's marketed as bold, audacious, sort of appealing to the masculinity of the drinkers? I'm not sure if there's really a market for that. So it'll be interesting to see how this holds up in the future. If even now, like I said, when I checked on the website, that was sort of a tickler that this beer might have a short lifespan. But anyway, so
yeah, I saw it the other day. But it could have been old cans. I didn't check the date.
The thing is, they allow a 1-year window for these import beers as far as the freshness date.
Right.
So what you've seen could have been brewed actually last springtime. So that it's sort of like it is with the Heineken. They allow an extra length of time because of import status. But on the Heinekens, they also have a code on there that tells you when it was actually brewed. So you can go back from that date and see how old it actually is, which I always do when I get a Heineken. But
right,
it's okay.
William, you want to put a number on it and give us your scale in Taco Bell?
Taco Bell is in the house.
Okay, good.
For a numerical scale, I would give this a 93 for a malt liquor. I think it's an A.
Cool.
And
all right, David, you can keep watching this because remember that big argument.
Beard, but I don't look like Al Hurt, so I can't do anything about that.
Right.
So on the Taco Bell scale, it's a solid hot.
Okay.
Hot.
I don't think I could really put any malt liquor in the Diablo category. That would really strain credibility.
Right.
Cool.
But I think it's a hot.
No Diablo?
The
No
only
Diablo for malt liquor, as far as I'm. Like I say.
William, have you tried the Founders one? Founders had one about a year ago.
The 14% version. I've not tried that. I would like to.
Okay, because that's higher alcohol. I think it's like 11 or 12%.
Okay,
but it could be a Diablo for you if you get to try it.
That's a possible. At least a hot and a half a Diablo, very potentially. But I'm still right now on the lookout for a barber with 6 feet long arms. I haven't been able to find it. I need a haircut very badly, and unlike the mayor of Chicago, I didn't get one. So I'm still looking for that barber with 6 feet long arms to keep the social distancing intact. So I'll keep looking.
The mayor of Chicago said, well, I have to be on national media. Well, hell, we're on national media. Where's my barber? Okay, yeah.
It is. I have one that I'm
DK.
I'd like to try that.
Let me see what the alcohol is because I know it's high.
It's a good one, but it's so strong.
It is strong. It's very strong. But they do cover the alcohol well. It's aged in bourbon
I
barrel.
loved it.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah,
Let's see what the alcohol is.
it's like a bourbon barrel aged liquor.
But it's from 2017, the bottle I have. So it's been sitting here for a
Yeah,
while.
it'll be all right.
I'm sure it's fine. Let me see where the alcohol is. It was bottled on 7/3/17. And the alcohol should be here. What is it? 14.2.
Wow. Okay.
So it's a beast.
That is. That's not a sessionable beer.
No,
Just
I paid-
outside. Just
I
outside.
paid $3.88. Is that a good price for this? $3.88.
He's gonna drink a 6-pack.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
I'm going to look for it the next time I'll visit. I've got a Total Wine store.
I know they do not release this every year, but maybe they released it again since this variety. I'm not sure.
I'll check on it. But
This should be okay for a longer wait, though. I'm not worried about anything going.
yeah, I
bad.
think that would be fine. But I think myself, I've grown a more tolerance for these malt liquors. The fact that when I got out of my chemo treatments, I started drinking a little bit of whiskey, which helped me develop. I knew my palate had come back when I could pull out some of the flavors in the bourbons. That was sort of a litmus test for me if my palate was coming back, and it was. And so I developed more of a taste for some of these higher gravity, and so after that, the malt liquor seemed like an adjunct, just a light beer almost. So if I'm in the mood for something like this, occasionally it's not a regular, like a go-to product, but I find them okay. I don't denigrate them. I understand what they are, what they're intended to be, and so I'm not afraid. I enjoy them on certain occasions.
Got to judge it by what it is, right?
Hey, no problem.
Absolutely,
Right, it's a Helles Doppelbock, Helles Doppelbock, adjunct Doppelbock.
Yeah, and
Well, we had a lot of good beers. Maybe not in my opinion, but Hugaden, yeah. Now, one of the commenters, Jack, is talking about John B. I remember John B. ordered a package and it came in, and then it was a set of hands, and he was all excited because he had hands. But John Paragon. Anyway, Blue Ribbon says,
I'm glad to be in the house. Believe me,
William, you're a fan favorite.
I'm glad
Yep.
to be in the house, and that takes on extra meaning. I really
Wildcard MVP,
right.
present tense. So it gives me a different perspective about the pandemic we're having right now with the COVID-19. I know it's a serious issue, but it puts it in different perspective when you've had personal illness of a serious nature. So when I see a lot of these chats and stuff, I can't really relate to it. The people are complaining about things and such. I just don't relate to that right now.
Thomas Metal has returned from the hinterland of
Eric.
Massachusetts.
Hello. Yes,
He
I
was
mean,
at the top war. Now he's back.
I understand, William. I understand that what you're saying. Now, Bumpy Road's going to come back on, I think, in a moment too to have some last words. Now, you see, Lance DeLush could have joined, but he couldn't wait. But he might have had something to do. Somebody might have knocked. I mean, I'm casting judgment on him, but somebody might have knocked on his door.
back, please. He did not respond to that. He's got that
Probably got a knock.
joined up, and there's not been a spot, so he's just completely left.
I know.
He needs to be
But
patient.
I'm saying somebody might have knocked on his door. Could have been the police saying, we caught you walking around without paperwork or something. All right, now might have been the East German police. Well, anyway,
Drewski.
you're wrong. It is a Helles Doppelbock, but it's an adjunct Doppelbock. Okay, that's what malt liquor was designed to be.
Right, and they use
Okay.
And the adjunct in this case is corn.
It's cornstarch.
Cornstarch.
And it is a little bit more evident. It's I think the brewer syrup is basically supposed to be odorless and tasteless and just a adjunct, which is a nice word for saying filler.
Yep.
But this one, I think it does contribute a little bit to the flavor profile of it. But you know, I don't have any real objections to that. The fact that people denigrate corn. Well, corn is the major ingredient in whiskey.
In whiskey, yeah.
Whether it be an expensive bourbon or a cheap bourbon. What starts out as Old Crow could wind up being Booker's after you age it.
True.
And they'd have a different position in the rick house. They have preferred positions in their warehouses.
Yep.
The best stuff versus the average stuff. So I don't have anything against corn. You know, so
yeah, some people got these real bad hangups. You know, got hangups. They'll talk about corn and beer is a sin, and then they'll go say, "Now I'm going to drink bourbon." Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you know, oatmeal is a regular adjunct in craft beer. It contributes to a clean mouthfeel. Well, I mean, I'm not thinking oats. I'm not thinking of Quaker oats.
Yeah.
I make a smart ass comment about that. I mean, but it's grain. These are all grains. They're grains. I mean,
You're right.
I don't see, you know, you pick and choose one's fine, but one's not another. I just don't see it. But that's just my take on that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And we've been talking about that for going on 5 years now. And, you know, I mean, it's like the same thing with rice. And then they'll say, I'll say, oh, what's that on your shelf? Oh, that's Tokai from Japan. Oh, it's a Japanese whiskey. Oh, let's look at what the major ingredient is, you know. But anyway, you know, blah, blah, blah.
All we're asking for is consistency.
German purity law. Right. German purity law is water, barley malt, hops, yeast, and then they changed the law later where you could have wheat. So, you know, they're like the Brewing Association. You can only have this unless we change our mind, and then you can have this plus that.
Yeah, ratify the law. Ratification.
Is that similar for Belgian wheat beers, Jay? Or is that like a German?
Well, no, I mean, Belgium doesn't really have a they don't have a purity law. They just, because Belgian beers add sugar, they add corn flakes, they add all kind of adjuncts, and they don't have a hang up about it.
Okay.
They've been doing it since forever.
Has anybody?
Yeah, that's just their thing.
Has anybody in the panel had a good sorghum beer?
Red Bridge? No.
I've had them, not a good one. Hey, would anybody like to let Jesse come back on? Okay, you got any last words? Because we're not going to be on much longer anyway, Jeremy. We're going to get off the air.
Last words and say, happy birthday. Thanks for letting me join.
Jeremy, maybe we'll see you on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, you'll see me.
Okay, you take care.
Nice.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Bye, Jeremy. Right.
In captivity, right. Is it self-quarantine or is it cowering in your house? Okay, but anyway, I'm going to add Bumpy. I saw somebody describe it as cowering in your house. I said, I like that description. Okay. But you know what they say, fear makes the world go round. All right, now, Bumpy, you have any last words? Does anybody have any last words?
I'll say since we're at the end of Wildcard Wednesday is when my polling stops for Multi Monday, and it looks like it's going to be the German Hefeweizen.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't like it, but I
upcoming.
can get one. I could probably join, assuming they have stores still open by then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of the craft, the craft beer store that I go to, just told me this last time when I was in there shopping. He said things are changing. Starting Sunday, it's going to be order only, curb pickup or delivery.
Damn.
You can't actually go into the store now.
Oh, that sounds really very much like Bulgaria in 1981. Well, they probably were a lot more lenient in Bulgaria in 1981. But anyway,
Not even compare these two kind of countries, but that's for a whole different day. If that little duck up there wants to get back on the streams and do his thing again.
oh, I can faster than you can say. Jack, crack, no
Yeah.
fat, and his wife could eat no lean, but betwixt the two of them, they licked the flatter clean. All right.
Holy
So my
crap.
last comment is that I'm glad everybody joined tonight, and I'm glad all the people watched. And we had no bad beers, and we didn't even have any average beers. We just had all good and excellent beers, and then we plan to come on next Wednesday. I think they're going to outlaw internet by next Wednesday, but due to an abundance of caution, you can't have people on the internet talking and stuff. But if that doesn't happen, we'll come back and talk and drink beer or water. And then that's it. So Michael, or do you have any last comments?
No, it's been very pleasant and fun, and looking forward to Stout Sunday on Sunday and next Wednesday. And maybe Bumpy, maybe I'll make another guest appearance if I can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Huh?
Just don't get my hopes up, Michael. Don't tell me you might be there and then not show.
A German Hefeweizen. That's not the hardest thing.
Hefeweizen, yeah.
Yeah, I can get a German wheat beer without too much effort.
That includes Belgium style, because I don't want you, because they are kind of a little bit different, but whatever.
Like that.
And Belgium was part of the Holy Roman Empire until 1789, so that makes sense. Okay, which was the First Reich. Okay. Oh, 5.9. They went back to 5.9 in 2016. They started at 6.9 in 2016, and later in the year they went back to it. So it really was all within 2016, if I'm correct. It wasn't even a year. That was a fiasco.
I think it was a little later than that, maybe 2017.
Oh, maybe so.
But it was a very, by the springtime, it didn't take long for them to retreat and reverse their decision. They had the billboards back up 5.5, 5 and 5.9 respectively for those two.
5 point, right.
Yeah.
And I knew about it.
If I might make a note here, there was a comment here live from Max Volt, said, "How could you find me on Facebook?" I just started a Facebook group called Rock to Your Bop.
Yeah.
So you can find me on there. Rock to Your Bop. You're welcome to join and check out a mashup of beer and classic rock music content.
It's a good group. Yep.
I've enjoyed that so far. We're starting to get some pretty good contributions from some of the members, and it's a small group, but it's in some ways that can be better that you're not getting some things that maybe shouldn't be on there. So I enjoy that. But
I have a group too called Rock and Roll Club,
right,
where you'll hear things like Iron Maiden or Bad Company or Johnny Mathis.
yours is a macro, mine's a micro. But
I got rock. What are you talking about?
Well, the good thing about Rock and Roll Club is every morning I get to join that. I get to click onto it, and then I can my eyes get wide, and I shake my head and say, "Wow, it's."
And I did notice you had a rather lively conversation with one of your members today about a certain post.
Yeah, and he tried to kind of weasel out of it, and I was mad, and he said, "Oh, well, we got to have a big music discussion and argument and got the blood pumping, you know?" I said it was really a discussion about the nature of a comment. I wasn't going to let it turn into like, well, you know, we disagree about music from time to time, because it wasn't about that. And so I was making it very clear that the comment was not germane to what he was saying later to explain the comment. And that I found that the comment was not good to start with. And that's why I called him. You notice I called him out on it right off the bat.
And you now have Calypso music too. That's interesting. Calypso.
Makes you wonder. 1958 Calypso song, and somehow that's rock and roll. And I said, okay, I'll let it stay up there. Now, sometimes I just can't take it. I got to delete it. But yeah, that was an interesting comment thread on Rock and Roll Club. And I didn't just let it pass by because I don't let those kind of chippy remarks just pass by. If you want to start a fire, you got to be able to take the heat. But it's probably best not to start the fire, is the way I see it. Anyway,
We didn't start the fire.
We didn't start the fire.
It was always burning since the globe was flat. I mean, the world's been turning.
oh man, if I had to listen to Billy for the next. All right, let's see. Roy Orbison, yeah, John Denver. Uh-oh. All right. Anyway, for get too far out of hand.
Drew's
but yeah, y'all can join Alcohol Eggs. You can join Rock and Roll Club, which is my two groups, William Scott, Rock Till You Bach. And I think I've been posting some pretty good content, but others may disagree, of course. And then
there's a Massachusetts beer reviews group on Facebook. Y'all can join that if you want.
Massachusetts Beer Review.
And on
That's right.
Thomas Mill 75. Look that up. Ding, 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 ding.
Thomas
Wait a minute.
Mills
Somebody else said that.
out there. All right, well, that's it. Enough of that. Tomorrow morning, I plan to be back on for Dawn Busters, and I have two exciting products: James Fox Canadian blended whiskey, and then it's going up against Rich and Rare Reserve. So that should be it should be a lopsided battle. But sometimes when you do it blind, you can be very profoundly shocked. That's the key. I try to tell people the key is a blind taste test. Don't sit there and look at what you're drinking. It's going to color your thinking about it. You don't even think you have biases. You may have biases you do not even realize. And that's why a blind taste test can eliminate bias. And you don't want variables when you're doing a tasting. Well, you want to eliminate as many as possible, of course. So, William, I'm glad you're enjoying that. I'm going to tell my friend David about it. And he'll tell me, I told you that. You just don't have good taste.
Al Hurt rules.
What?
Al Hurt rules.
Al Hurt. David cracks me up, man. I mean, just the stuff he says. I say, I wish I could be recording all of it secretly. All right.
Trying to grow my beard like David, if I can, with the quarantine.
He's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, but he had to shave it way back. He shaved it way back because he got a new job.
Nice. That's good.
Last comment.
Native Missouri is still working. That's a good thing.
A lot of people do watch Dawn Busters when they're getting ready to work. They'll just click it on and listen to it like the radio, like you listen to a radio.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still sleeping during Dawn Buster.
Yeah, they'll be drinking coffee, eating breakfast, and they'll listen to me, and then they'll make comments like whatever they want to make. So it's like a morning drive time show.
My podcast.
Or getting ready. Yeah. Oh well, that's it. So next week, Wildcard Wednesday, and this Friday is Good Friday hangout. I'm going to do a rum taste challenge. James P. Madonna said he's going to be very solemn. He wants to do it in a serious Good Friday manner, which is not really his general presentation. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. But it's open to anybody to join. But it'll be on for about an hour. It's going to be something else. That's going to be a different type of hangout, I think. So that's it. Thanks everybody for joining and watching, and have a good rest of the week.
Enjoyed it.
Everybody.
Cheers and happy birthday, Ron.
Cheers, man.
Thanks again. And Lance, you got to hang around more and be patient. Unless somebody knocked at your door and you had to.
Oh.
Well, of course, sometimes things happen. I mean, literally, I've had these things happen to me where, like, the internet crashes, like in the middle of a hangout.
Mm-hmm.
So frustrating, you just don't know what's going to happen. And I used to have this thing set on high definition. Forget it. It doesn't work. Like and StreamYard cannot handle its own capacity. And I've had other people with way better computers than I do Hangouts, and that thing just jams up. But the funny thing about it, if you record it on 480 on StreamYard, which loosens up everything, YouTube will still broadcast it at a minimum 720. So it's like it automatically converts back to the high definition, and you don't. So you, because once you start adding all these people, it cannot handle its own capacity.
That's just the opposite for music, where they downsample everything. Where they upsample the video, but they downsample the music to I think 256K is the highest music resolution they can have on there, because they've got a new music streaming service. And it sounds a little bit better now, I noticed, because they're starting to get a lot of songs by the record companies themselves. They don't all sound the same, but the higher resolution video usually sounds the best too, because you get a higher connectivity stream. I've noticed.
Right. You'll notice that. And
that
used to be YouTube was trying to block everything with music 10 years ago. You couldn't. But when the record companies themselves started doing it, like Rhino Records.
Yeah.
Oh wow, boom! Capitol Records started doing the Beatles. Boom, you get every Beatles.
They're trying to. They have a streaming service you pay for monthly. You can unlimited streams.
Right.
And the quality is actually a little bit. The ones I post on my group I just started, I try to always get the highest audio quality I can. I'll listen to them and pick the
Same
one.
here.
Usually from the record company itself is the best sounding. Bunch.
Now that we're off the air, what'd you think about? You noticed that kind of fight this morning. What'd you think about that?
Jay, it still looks like we're live according to.
Yeah, we're not off air. And is Lance in the basement? Maybe. Oh boy.
We're still on air. No, he ain't in the basement. Sorry, folks. I thought we were off there.
He said, "I'm here." Just had a battle with a bad connection. He told me that on Facebook.